Shema Israel, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah Eloheinu Achad. Shema Israel, Shema Israel, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah Eloheinu Achad.
And shalom. Welcome to Cover with Jeremy Pyers. So today is, what is it, part 12 of Jubilees? Yep. Excuse me. And so we've got this one and one last one. There's only 50 chapters, so we're going to do 5 this week, and then the last 5 will be next week. Welcome all who have shown and come up for the live stream, and welcome all who are viewing this at a later time. Welcome, welcome. I appreciate all of you. So, alright. So we left off at chapter 40. Let's get right into it. Excuse me. So, Jubilees, chapter 40. And this is from the Eth Sefer. And in those days, and in those days, Pharaoh dreamed 2 dreams in one night concerning a famine, which was to be in all the land. And he awoke from his sleep, and called all the interpreters of dreams that were in Mitzrayim. And magicians told them his 2 dreams, and they were not able to declare them. And the chief butler remembered Joseph, and spoke of him to the king, And he brought him forth from the prison. And he told his 2 dreams before him. And he said before Pharaoh that his 2 dreams were one. And he said unto him, 7 years shall come, in which there shall be plenty over all the land of Mitzrayim. And after that 7 years of famine, such a famine as has not been in all the land. And now let Pharaoh appoint overseers in all the land of Mitzrayim, and let them store up food in every city throughout the days of the years of plenty. And there will be food for 7 years of famine, and the land will not perish through the famine, for it will be very severe. Excuse me. And Yahweh gave Joseph favor and mercy in the eyes of Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, We shall not find such a wise and discreet man as this man, for the Ruach Yahweh is with him. And he appointed him the second in all his kingdom, and gave him authority over all Mitzrayim, and caused him to ride in the second chariot of Pharaoh. And he clothed them with byssus garments, and he put a gold chain upon his neck. And a herald proclaimed before him, El wa Aviyar, and placed a ring on his hand, and made him ruler over all his house, and magnified him, and said unto him, Only on the throne shall I be greater than you. So this, just in case you didn't notice, this is going into the context of the story of Joseph, which Jubilees goes into deep context about all the Genesis stories. If you hadn't noticed, it's pretty amazing. And Joseph ruled over all the land of Mitzrayim, and all the princes of Pharaoh, and all his servants, and all who did the king's business loved him. For he walked in uprightness, for he was without pride and arrogance. And he had no respect of persons, and did not accept gifts. But he judged in uprightness all the people of the land. And the land of Mitzrayim was at peace before Pharaoh, because of Joseph. For Yahweh was with him, and gave him favor and mercy for all his generations, before all those who knew him, and those who heard concerning him. And Pharaoh's kingdom was well ordered, and there was no Satan, and no evil person therein. Pretty awesome. And the king called Joseph's name Sophanath Paneach, and gave Joseph to be his woman, the daughter of Potiphar, the daughter of the priest of On, the chief cook. And on the day that Joseph stood before Pharaoh, he was 30 years old, when he stood before Pharaoh. And in that year Yitzhak died. And it came to pass, as Joseph has said in the interpretation of his 2 dreams, according as he has said it, there were 7 years of plenty over all the land of Mitzrayim. And the land of Mitzrayim abundantly produced. 1 measure produced 1,800 measures. And Joseph gathered food into every city, until they were full of grain, and until they could no longer count and measure it for its multitude. Chapter 41. And in the 44th Jubilee, in the 2nd week, and in the 2nd year, Yahudah took his firstborn, a woman from the daughters of Aram, named Tamar. But he hated, and did not lie with her, because his mother was of the daughters of Canaan. And he wished to take him a woman of the kinfolk of his mother, but Yahuda his father would not permit him. And this the firstborn of Yahuda, was wicked, and Yahweh slew him. And Yahuda said unto Onan his brother, Go into your brother's woman, and perform the duty of a man's brother unto her, and raise up a seed unto your brother. And Onan knew that the seed would not be his, but his brother's only. And he went into the house of his brother's woman, and spilt the seed on the ground, and he was wicked in the eyes of Yahweh, and he slew him. And Yahuda said unto Tamar his daughter-in-law, Remain in your father's house as a widow, till Shelach my son be grown up, and I shall give you to him to be his woman. And he grew up, but Bethuel, the woman of Yahuda, did not permit her son Shelach to marry. And Bethuel, the woman of Yahuda, died in the 5th year of this week. And in the 6th year Yahuda went up to shear his sheep at Timnah. And they told Tamar, Behold, your father-in-law goes up to Timnah to shear his sheep. And she put off her widow's clothes, and put on a veil, and adorned herself, and sat at the gate, adjoining the way to Timnah. And as Yahuda was going along, he found her, and he thought her to be a harlot. And he said unto her, Let me come in unto you. And she said unto him, Come in. And he went in. Pretty interesting how Judah, just walking around. Oh, he sees a whore. Hey, let me come into you. Very strange how he just goes for it. That's just who he thinks to be a random harlot is actually his daughter-in-law. So, I don't know, it's, it's so strange. And she said unto him, Give me my hire. And he said unto her, I have nothing in my hand, save my ring that is on my finger, and my necklace and my staff, which is in my hand. And she said unto him, Give them to me until you do. Send me my hire. And he said unto her, I will send unto you a kid of the goats. And he gave them to her, and she conceived by him. And Yahuda went unto his sheep, and she went to her father's house. And Yahuda sent a kid of the goats by the hand of his shepherd, and Adulami. And he found her not. And he asked the people of the place, saying, Where is the harlot who is here? And they said unto him, There is no harlot here with us. And he returned and informed him, and said unto him, He had not found her. I asked the people of the place, and they said unto me, There is no harlot here. And he said, Let her keep them, lest we become a cause of derision. And when she had completed 3 months, it was manifest that she was with child. And they told Yahuda, saying, Behold, Tamar, your daughter-in-law, is with child by whoredom. And Yahuda went to the house of her father, and said unto her father and her brothers, Bring her forth, and let them burn her, for she is wrought uncleanness in Yasharel. And it came to pass, when they brought her forth to burn her, that she sent to her father-in-law the ring and the necklace and the staff, saying, Discern, whose are these? For by him I am with child. And Yahuda acknowledged, and said, Tamar is more righteous than I am. Therefore, let them burn her not. And for that reason she was not given to Shelach. And she did not again and he did not again approach her. And after that she bore 2 sons, Peretz and Zerach, in the 7th year of the 2nd week. Excuse me. And thereupon the 7 years of fruitfulness were accomplished, of which Joseph spoke to Pharaoh, and Yehudah acknowledged that the deed which he had done was evil. For he had lain with his daughter-in-law, and he esteemed it hateful in his eyes, and he acknowledged that he had transgressed and gone astray, for he had uncovered the skirt of his son, and he began to lament and to supplicate before Yahweh because of his transgression. And we told him in a dream that it was forgiven him, because he supplicated earnestly, and lamented, and did not again commit it. And he received forgiveness because he turned from his sin, and from his ignorance, for he transgressed greatly before our Elohim. And everyone that acts thus, everyone who lies with his mother-in-law, let them burn him with fire, that he may burn therein. For there is uncleanness and pollution upon them. With fire, let them burn them. And do you command the children of Yasharel, that there be no uncleanness amongst them. For everyone who lies with his daughter-in-law, or with his mother-in-law, has wrought uncleanness. With fire let them burn the man who has lain with her, and likewise the woman, and he will turn away wrath and punishment from Yasharel. And unto Yehudah we said that his 2 sons had not lain with her. For this reason his seed was established for his 2nd generation, and would not be rooted out. For in singleness of eye he had gone and sought for punishment, namely according to the judgment of Abraham, which he commanded his sons, Yehudah, had sought to burn her with fire. Excuse me. And in the 1st year of the 3rd week of the 45th Jubilee, the famine became to come into the land, and the rain refused to be given to the earth, for none whatsoever fell. And the earth grew barren, but in the land of Mitzrayim there was food, for Joseph had gathered the seed of the land in the 7 years of plenty, and had preserved it. And the Mitzrayim came to Joseph, that he might give them food. And he opened the storehouses, where was the grain of the 1st year. And he sold it to the people of the land for gold. And Yaakov heard that there was food in Mitzrayim, and he sent his 10 sons, that they should procure food for him in Mitzrayim. But Benjamin he did not send, and arrived among those that went there. And Joseph recognized them, but they did not recognize him. And he spoke unto them, and questioned them, and had said unto them, Are ye not spies? Have ye not come to explore the approaches of the land? And he put them in ward. And after that he set them free again, and detained Shimeon alone, and sent off all his 9 brothers. And he filled their sacks with grain, and he put their gold in their sacks, and they did not know. And he commanded them to bring their younger brother, for they had for they had told him their father was living, and their younger brother. And they went up from the land of Mitzrayim, and they came to the land of Canaan, and they told their father all that had befallen them, and how that Adonai of the country had spoken roughly to them, and had seized Shimeon, till they should bring Benjamin. And Yaakov said, Me have ye bereaved of all my children. Joseph is not, and Shimeon also is not, and you will take Benjamin away. On me has your wickedness come. And he said, My son will not go down with you, lest perchance he fall sick, for their mother gave birth to 2 sons, when one has perished. And this one also ye will take from me? If perchance he took a fever on the road, ye will bring down my old age with sorrow unto death. For he saw that their money had been returned to every man in his sack, and for this reason he feared to send him. And the famine increased and became sore in the land of Canaan, and in all the land, save the land of Mitzrayim. For many of the children of Mitzrayim had stored up their seed for food from the time when they saw Joseph gathering seed together, and putting it in storehouses, and preserving it for the years of famine. And the people of Mitzrayim fed themselves thereon during the first year of their famine. But when Yasharel saw that the famine was very sore in the land, and that there was no deliverance, he said unto his sons, Go again, and procure food for us, that we die not. And they said, We shall not go, unless our youngest brother go with us. We shall not go. And Yasharel saw that if he did not send him with them, they should all perish by reason of famine. And Reuben said, Give him into my hand, and if I do not bring him back to you, slay my 2 sons instead of his soul. And he said unto him, He shall not go with you. And Yahudah came near and said to him, Send him with me, and if I do not bring him back to you, let me bear the blame before you all the days of my life. And he sent him with them in the 2nd year of this week, on the 1st day of the month. And they came to the land of Mitzrayim, with all those who went, and they had presents in their hands, stocte and almonds and terebinth nuts and pure honey. And they went and stood before Joseph, and he saw Benjamin his brother, and he knew him, and said unto them, Is this your youngest brother? And they said unto him, It is he. And he said, Yahuwah be gracious to you, my son. And he sent him into his house, and he brought forth Shimeon unto them, and he made a feast for them. And they presented to him the gift which they had brought in their hands. And they ate before him, and he gave them all a portion. But the portion of Benjamin was 7 times larger than that of any of theirs. And they ate and drank and arose, and remained with their asses. And Joseph devised a plan, whereby he might learn their thoughts, as to whether thoughts of peace prevailed amongst them. And he said to the steward who was over his house, Fill all their sacks with food, and return their money unto them into their vessels. And my cup, the silver cup out of which I drink, put it in the sack of the youngest, and send them away. Chapter 43. And he did this as Joseph had told him, and filled all their sacks for them with food, and put their money in their sacks, and put the cup in Benjamin's sack. And early in the morning they departed, and it came to pass that when they had gone from thence, Joseph said unto the steward of his house, Pursue them, run and seize them, saying, For good ye have requited me with evil. Ye have stolen from me the silver cup out of which my Adonai drinks. and bring back to me their youngest brother, and fetch him quickly before I go forth to my seat of judgment. And he ran after them and said unto them according to these words. And they said unto him, Far be it that your servant should do this thing, and steal from the house of your Adonai any utensil, and the money also which we found in our sacks as the first time, we your servants brought back from the land of Canaan. How then should we steal any utensil? Behold, here are we in our sacks. Search, and wherever you find the cup in the sack of any man amongst us, let him be slain, and we and our asses will serve your Adonai. And he said unto them, Not so. The man with whom I find, him only shall I take as a servant, and ye shall return in peace unto your house. And as he was searching in their vessels, beginning with the eldest and ending with the youngest, it was found in Benjamin's sack. And they rent their garments, and laded their asses, and returned to the city, and came to the house of Joseph. And they all bowed themselves on their faces to the ground before him. And Joseph said unto them, Ye have done evil. And they said, What shall we say, and how shall we defend ourselves? Our Adonai has discovered the transgression of his servants. Behold, we are the servants of our Adonai, and our asses also. And And Joseph said unto them, I too fear Yahweh. As for you, go ye to your homes, and let your brother be my servant. For ye have done evil. Know ye not that a man delights in his cup, as I with this cup? And yet ye have stolen it from me. And Yehudah said, O Adonai, let your servant, I pray you, speak a word in my Adonai's ear. 2 brothers did your servant's mother bear to our father. One went away and was lost, and has not been found, and he alone is left of his mother. And your servant our father loves him, and his life also is bound up with the life of this lad. And it will come to pass, when we go to your servant our father, and the lad is not with us, that he will die, and we shall bring down our father with sorrow unto death. Now rather let me, your servant, abide instead of the boy, as a bondsman unto my Adonai, and let the lad go with his brethren. For I became surety for him at the hand of your servant our father, and if I do not bring him back, your servant will hear the blame to our father forever. And Joseph saw that they were all according in goodness with one another, and he could not refrain himself, and he told them that he was Joseph. And he conversed with them in the Ivrit tongue, and fell on their neck and wept. But they knew him not, and they began to weep. And he said unto them, Weep not over me, but hasten and bring my father to me. And ye see that it is my mouth that speaks, and the eyes of my brother Benjamin see. For behold, this is the 2nd year of the famine, and there are still 5 years without harvest or fruit of trees or plowing. Come down quickly, ye and your households, so that ye perish not through the famine. And do not be grieved for your possessions, for Yahweh sent me before you to set these things in order, that many people might live. And tell my father that I am still alive, and yea, behold, ye see, that Yahweh has made me as a father to Pharaoh, and a ruler over this house, and over all the land of Mitzrayim. And tell my father of all my glory, and of all the riches and glory that Yahweh has given to me. And by the command of the mouth of Pharaoh, he gave them chariots and provisions for the way, And he gave them all many-colored raiment and silver. And to their father he sent raiment and silver and 10 asses, which carried grain, and he sent them away. And they went up and told their father that Joseph was alive, and was measuring out grain to all the nations of the earth, and that he was ruler over all the land of Mitzrayim. And their father did not believe it, for he was beside himself in his mind. But when he saw the wagons which Joseph had sent, the life of his ruach revived. And he said, Is it enough for me if Joseph lives? I will go down and see him before I die. Pretty awesome. So, there was someone arguing with me on Facebook for like a week, saying how Jubilees says the new moon says it's a month. Guess what we're going to read in this verse right here? Which I showed him, but of course he didn't want to read or pay attention. He also said Jubilees had 88 chapters, but that's all I got to say. That's all I should say, actually. They're known by their fruits, especially if they're making up chapters. Anyway, so chapter 44. And Yasharel took his journey from Haran, from his house, on the new moon of the 3rd month. It doesn't say, notice how all through Jubilees it'll say beginning of the month and this and that. This distinctly separates the new moon and month. Context is key, studying is key. There's too much pride, too much ignorance, too much foolishness, too much separation. Like, too many people just want to be right. And then when you try to show them these things, they won't read them. They'll just hate you and call you out. Too much narcissism. And that's exactly what it is. You know, I've been avoiding Facebook for this very reason. Like, I'm taking a little break from it. I can't with people. You try to show them these things and they'll attack you and hate you. So let's read this again. He took his journey from Haran, from his house, on the new moon of the 3rd month. And he went on the way of the well of the oath. And he offered a sacrifice to the Elohim of his father Yitzhak on the 7th of this month. Look at that. Complete separation of new moons and months. We don't follow the moon. It's not for months, it's for seasons. And you try to show people this and they don't understand it. Then they try to use Jubilees and it's like, bro, do you know I've read Jubilees many times. I'm studying it right now. And it's interesting how most of my friends on Facebook don't even know I have a YouTube channel. Even though I post it in my story and on my timeline almost every day. Well, I haven't actually in the past few weeks, but I would seriously post links to my channel every single day, trying to get more subscribers, and I only got a few. There's still people that come and, hey, I didn't know you had a channel. Oh well, it's whatever. I'm not in this for popularity at all. I'm just in this to learn and to study. I'm learning just like the rest of all of you. Anyway, let me continue. So this will be the final chapter for this evening. And Yaakov remembered the dream that he had seen at Bethel. And he feared to go down into Mitzrayim. And while he was thinking of sending word to Joseph to come to him, that he would not go down, he remained there 7 days, if perchance he could see a vision as to whether he should remain or go down. And he celebrated the harvest feast of the firstfruits with old grain, for in all the land of Canaan there was not a handful of seed in the land. For the famine was over all the beasts and the cattle and the birds, and also over man. And on the 16th Yahweh appeared unto him, and said unto him, Yaakov, Yaakov. And he said, Here I am. And he said unto him, I am the Elohim of your fathers. Excuse me. Man. I am the Elohim of your fathers, the Elohim of Abraham and Yitzhak. Fear not to go down unto Mitzrayim, for I will there make of you a great nation. I will go down with you, and I will bring with you up again. I will bring you up again, and in this land shall you be buried. And Joseph shall put his hands upon your eyes. Fear not, go down into Mitzrayim. And his sons rose up, and his sons' sons. And they placed their fathers and their possessions upon wagons. And Yasharel arose up from the well of the oath on the 16th of this 3rd month. And he went to the land of Mitzrayim. And Yasharel sent Yahudah before him to his son Joseph, to examine the land of Goshen. For Joseph had told his brothers that they should come and dwell there, that they might be near him. And this was the goodliest land in the land of Mitzrayim, and near to him, for all of them, and also for the cattle. And these are the names of the sons of Yaakov, who went into Mitzrayim with Yaakov their father Reuben, the firstborn of Yasharel. And these are the names of his sons, Hanok, Palu, Hetzron, Carmi, 5. Shimeon and his sons, and these are the names of his sons, Yemuel, Yamin, Ohad, Yakin, Sohar, Shaul, the son of Sephani, the woman, 7. Levi and his sons, these are the names of his sons, Gershon, Kohath, and Merari, 4. Yehudah and his sons, all these are the names of his sons, Shelach, Peretz, Zerach, 4. Yissachar and his sons, and these are the names of his sons, Tola, Pua, Yov, and Shimron, 5. Zebulon and his sons, and these are the names of his sons, Sered, Elion, Yachiel, 4. And these are the sons of Yaakov and their sons, who Leah bore to Yaakov, in Aram, Naharim, 6. And their one sister, Dinah. And all the souls of the sons of Leah and their sons, who went with Yaakov, their father, into Mitzrayim, were 29, and Yaakov, their father, being with them, were 30. And the sons of Zilpah, Leah's handmaid, the woman of Yaakov, who bore unto Yaakov Gad and Asher. And there are the names and there are the names of their sons, who went with him into Mitzrayim. The sons of Gad, Siphon, and Haggai, and Shuni, and Eshton, and Eri, and Arieli, and Evardi, 8. And the sons of Asher, Yimnah, and Yishva, and Yishvli, and Beriah, and Sirach, their one sister, 6. And all the souls were 14, and all those of Leah were 44. And the sons of Rachel, the woman of Yaakov, Joseph and Benjamin. And there were born to Joseph in Mitzrayim, before his father came into Mitzrayim, those who Asina, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, bore unto him, Manasseh and Ephraim. 3. And these sons of Benjamin, Bela and Becher, and Ashbel, Gera, and Naaman, and Ahi, and Rosh, and Muppiim, and Huppiim, and Ard, 11. And all the sons of Rachel were 14. And the sons of Bilhah, the handmaid of Rachel, the woman of Yaakov, who she bore, were Dan and Naphtali. And these are the names of their sons, who went with them into Mitzrayim. And the sons of Dan were Cushayim and Salmon, and Asudi, Iyakah, Salomon, 6. And they died the year in which they entered into Mitzrayim. And there was left to Dan Cushayim alone. And these are all the names of the sons of Naphtali, Yaxiel and Guni, and Yester, and Shallum, and Eve. And Eve, who was born after the years of famine, died in Mitzrayim. And all the souls of Rachel were 26, and all the souls of Yaakov, which went into Mitzrayim, were 70 souls. These are all his children and his children's children. In all 70, but 5 died in Mitzrayim before Joseph had no children. Died in Mitzrayim before Joseph and had no children. And in the land of Canaan, 2 sons of Yahudah died, and Onan, and they had no children. And the children of Yasharel buried those who perished. And they were reckoning among the 70 nations of the Goyim. They were reckoned among the 70 nations of the Goyim. And this is what the Zionist pigs call us now, Goyim. That synagogue of Hasatan. Anyway, we'll stop right there for now. We've only got 5 chapters left. They're actually pretty short, so we'll save them for next time. So it's not too short of an episode. Or live stream, whatever. So, yeah, it's just so amazing how much context Jubilees brings into everything. And, you know, it clearly shows separation of especially the moon, the months, the sun. Like, it clearly shows the sun is to be followed for days and Shabbats. The moon's supposed to be followed for the seasons. The stars are just the signs of the times. So, after Jubilees here, we're going to be doing Enoch. And that's a big one as well. There's so much controversy over it when there shouldn't be. Because something that Messiah directly quotes from and calls scripture, in that same quote, there should be no controversy over. I mean, that's not even an opinion, that's a fact. Like, and yet there's so much debate and controversy over it. It's because Satan infiltrates the body. He causes pride and hate and, you know, oh, you have a different opinion on that than me? Well, screw you, you're of the devil. Like, craziness, madness. And the thing is, none of these people would have the gall to say any of the things I say sitting behind a keyboard in real life. Plain and simple. And it's just baffling and appalling. And they won't even listen to you. They won't read what you put. They won't look into any information you put. Like, they just want to be right. It's man, it's just a war zone. I just need a break from that for a while. Anyway, thank you all for joining me. Stay tuned next week for the finale of Jubilees. This one, I think this one's been the longest one. I don't think... It's funny because they call it the Little Genesis, but it actually reads out longer than Genesis. But whatever. Anyways, so next week, Jubilees finale. Week after that, starting up Enoch. And then after Enoch, we're going to be going over all of Paul's letters. We're going to go deep into context of them and why he's not false. He's not a false apostle. He's not a false preacher. He wasn't false at all. He was chosen by Messiah. We're going to go over that in deep context because I have many questions about this. This is one huge debate that just never ends. And it's a huge topic of separation. And really it shouldn't be. There's just so many... We're all on different parts of the path. Like, not one of us know everything. There's things I don't know. But I'm not going to bash it and call them false and this and that. Because my lack of understanding. If I don't know something, I'll straight up tell you I don't know. You can ask people that have asked me questions. I'll straight up tell them if I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, many of you that are watching now probably have asked me questions and I've told you straight up I don't know. I'd have to search it out. But there's some you'll ask questions and even if they don't know, they'll try to give you some made up answer. And then that's just pride and blindness. And humble yourselves. Humble yourselves. And I'm working on that myself. Like, I know I do have an attitude problem, but you know, I'm Irish. That's just part of it. It's like, I don't know, stupidity just sets me off, really, in ignorance and assumptions and, never mind. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me. Please like and subscribe and share if you haven't already. You know, I'm not doing this to get popular. I don't have very many subscribers. And honestly, I really don't want a lot of subscribers. Because I get overwhelmed now with all the questions. But I love answering questions. Don't be shy. Feel free to ask questions. It might take me a while to answer, but I just got a lot on my plate. Anyways, have a blessed evening. Have a blessed week. We'll see you next time. And shalom, mishpacha.